Good evening, everyone. Nice to nice to be back. It's getting dark, isn't it? And cold. So, what did we expect, right? Well, if we want November 3rd to come, we got to be willing to put up with a little bit of discomfort. So, thank you all for showing up. We're going to do a couple of little different things this time. I don't think we've ever done this, or well, maybe not for a long time. We're going to do some seated Qigong. Seated Qigong won't, other than that it's seated, won't be really new. But it's good to do it because there may be situations that we're in where, well, sitting is what's going on for us. Maybe we can't stand up. Maybe we've been injured, or I don't know, maybe we're tired, whatever it is. But seated Qigong is a very ancient form. It's a posture that's taught. In a way, we do seated Qigong when we sit and we do Nigong or we do Shengong. So we've done that. But this will involve some movement. And then the other thing that we haven't done for a long time, at least since we've been in the Taiji Center, is prone Qigong or lying down Qigong. So why don't you, if you would, please take a minute and maybe put a yoga mat down on the floor if you have one, or maybe a blanket or sleeping bag or something that you can lie on your back for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and maybe a little pillow too would be helpful if you have that. You can do the lying down part seated also if it's a hassle to get something on the spur of the moment, get something to lay down on. So you can do it seated, but it's usually taught lying down. So I'll just give you a minute to get something together. If you have a sofa in the room, that would work. Just whatever you can lay down on for 10 or 15 minutes. You could just lay on the floor if that's not uncomfortable for you, and then just have a little cushion or pillow. That's fine. Okay, so you may want to keep in mind we're going to be referring to for some part of this. We're going to be referring to the 5 elements, the 5 Buddhist elements, which is earth, water, fire, air, and space. They correspond to the 5 skandhas, if that, or the 5 aggregates, if that means anything to you. So just standing and coming into a balance like we did last time. We're just feeling where you're really grounded. And if we like, we can do this as contemplation, just touching into the earth element. So we're standing here, we're standing in a standing mountain or standing one, and this is an earth relative posture, as we're grounding to begin with. So just sensing the solidity and the heaviness of the physical body. And sensing the solidity of the earth. And that sometimes we can remember the contemplation is that the body is made up entirely of the earth. So we're in touch with the earth element. And then if we want to touch into the water element so that we can sense the liquid in our mouth, our eyes, and sense the density, the liquidity of the body, the organs of the body, the blood, and so on. And then the correlate in the world, so the veins would be like rivers. And all the cells in the body are full of water, so it's like a big body of water. Okay, fire has various meanings, but we can just think of that as heat. We just sense the warmth of the body. The body puts out a huge amount of energy just to keep up the warmth of the body. So that's heat, and then the correlate, of course, is the sun, or the heat in the center of the planet, which we know about. But you know, the Earth is warm. If you go into a cave in the winter, it's still in the 50s. So there's warmth in the earth, warmth from the sun, warmth in the body. So the air, air is the breath, of course. So we can just tune into the breath, the belly, the body moving with the breath. And then the correlate, of course, is the same air outside of us, or the wind. And then space, what is meant by space is not exactly outer space, although there's certainly a lot of space there, but space is a realm without objects. And so there's space in the mind. You know, if we've studied particle physics, we know there's vast amounts of space in the body, but I don't know if the ancients knew that, but the space is just the surrounding area where there aren't things, and then of course the space of the mind. So the space in which the body exists and the space in which objects of mind come and go. So it's earth, water, fire, air, and space. I'm getting progressively finer. So sort of moving up. And so the gates, the earth gate would be the perineum, or the sexual organs, or in a woman the womb, the gate of the womb, or the earth gate, connection to the earth. And the water is the kidneys. The kidneys are very important in Chinese medicine. And then the heat is the solar plexus, the center of the body. Air, of course, is the lungs. And then the space is the mind. And that gate would be the top of the head. The air would be the heart, or middle dantian. So if you go through these one by one in a contemplation in this posture, you'll reach a point of what the Buddhists call concentration, or just completeness, of fullness, because everything is included. I mean, you can move your attention to each one of these elements and just reassure yourself that yes, they're all there, they're all here. So that's a sense of fullness. Okay, let's go ahead and bow to the directions. To the north, and the east, south, and west. Above, below, and within. And maybe you can touch into this sense of everything present. Okay. Okay, so let's go into some backwash. Backwashes and tree and spring, 3 tree and spring for each backwash. Okay, one more set. Okay, when you're ready, let's stretch out the neck and shoulders. This movement is exaggerating the breath. So completely filling up, completely emptying out. And now let's go ahead and slowly reduce this movement so the breath becomes finer. And let the breath become very easy. So in meditation, the quality of the breath directly relates to the quality of the absorption in the practice. So if we're breathing very, very big and very deeply, we're probably sort of beginning to drop into this. And as the breath becomes finer, as we adjust it a little, then the mind settles down as well. And we enter into more subtle states of awareness. So it helps to really start with the whole body and start really big. So our mind gets completely, our attention gets completely into the breath. But then we can let it become more and more subtle. And notice the quality of the mind as the breath becomes quieter. Okay, and then letting the hands down. Let the belly be very relaxed. As the breath gets more subtle, the body gets more relaxed. Okay, let's go ahead and do the pelvic, rocking the pelvis. And circling the pelvis, circling the hips. Okay. And then the balancing. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up our stool. You could do, if you like, you can do these if you're doing, some kind of Buddhist meditation or something. If you're sitting cross-legged, that's okay. As I mentioned, that the Taoists don't recommend that because they say it blocks the energy flow at the knees. But whatever. If you're sitting and you're doing meditation, maybe for a longer period of time, you can take a break without getting up if you want, and you can do some of these Qigong movements. So that's another use of sitting Qigong. I've done that too. It's nice. So basically, let's start with tree and spring. So we'll just point our hands down between our legs, and then at the in breath, we just do tree and spring. And then you bring the hands to the front. and repeat. Okay, then let's go ahead and rest here. And so rather than standing mountain, this is just the Lan Fa or whatever mudra you like, and just coming back to sitting mountain. You can put your hands together. With anything is fine. Actually, now that I'm thinking, we have done sitting practice, the swimming dragon sitting where we circle the knees and so on. So we have done some of this. Okay, so let's go into touching heaven, touching earth. So starting here. So one up, one down. Switch hands. Now it's natural to rock a bit at the waist. Okay, let's come back to rest. And now the 8 brocades or the breath meditations are very good. Done this way too. So in breath. So feel the chi moving from the lower dantian to up to the middle. Eyes are following the hands. Looking inward. In some forms, there's quite a bit of rocking. You can try that. So when you bend at the waist. Okay, let's go into the next one. So up, so open, close. Okay, if you like, you can rock back, rock forward. Okay, let's segue this, reduce the movements a little. Okay, so the breath settles down. Okay, and diagonal flying. So diagonal and one hand above the other. And this way, so you'll rock a little side to side on this one. The lower hand shoots up and the upper hand shoots down. Okay, one more each side. And now just reduce the movements. And the breath gets quieter. So seated Qigong takes less energy. It's a little more easeful than standing. And we don't have to breathe as deep. And as the body relaxes and settles, then the mind also becomes more spacious. Okay, and then cloud hands. So turning, switching, turn. Go in the direction of the upper hand. And let's reduce this one. And then one hand in front of the middle dantian, the other in front of the lower. Okay, and then rest. So with each out breath, you can suggest or let your body become a little more relaxed. Still upright, of course. And then the quality of stillness arises, and the breath becomes more subtle. Now we can play with the breath a little. We're not just observing it. We also can be adjusting it. And see how it feels. And let's just do a body scan through the elements. So just noticing the earth element, heaviness of the body, and the water element, moving up. And the heat radiating through the body. We're moving up now into the solar plexus. And then the air moving up into the lungs and heart. And the emptiness surrounding the body. And then as the breath becomes more subtle, we naturally become aware of space. That is, the mind becomes quiet. And so there's just awareness without an object. So that's space. And then just noticing that they're all present, all five. And then what notices that is awareness. Let's take a few more breaths. So the next practice will be lying down comfortably. So you can go ahead and just move slowly and just go ahead if you want to. You can remain seated if you don't want to lie down. And just lie down on your back, support your head, maybe your knees too if you want to. And just assume a position where you won't have to move. You won't have to move any of your body. So you can place your hands by your sides or on your torso, whatever, just so you can be comfortable and not move. And this practice is borrowed from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, which is letting go of the elements. So just begin with a rather deep breath. And with the exhale, just relax and sink and sort of feel the body sinking into the earth, sort of merging with the out breath, just sinking, merging with the earth. So bringing the attention to the physical sensation of lying down, the pressure on your back where it meets the ground, and the pressure everywhere where you're touching the ground. And so this body, which is an extension of the earth, is like a landform. And the bones are the bedrock. The skeleton is the structure. You feel the heaviness, the solidity, the stillness of the earth element. And with the out breath, just imagining the elements in the body returning to the earth. So we bring to mind the skin. You can feel the skin and let the skin disappear. And then the muscles, tendons, just let them disappear with the out breath. And the organs, from the eyes, all the internal organs, just with the out breath, just let them disappear. And the bones, just let the bones disappear. And noticing the presence of water, liquidity, let the water that was in the body melt into the earth. the heat that was in the body dissipates. And the wind blows over the space where the body used to be. The wind has been blowing always. The wind calms down, and there is nothing but space. The space is conscious. The space is conscious of air coming and going. Space is conscious of heat. Space is conscious of water, liquid. The space is conscious of the physical body, completely present, all the elements together, with the consciousness that it's all present. We can move the attention, we can feel any one of these elements at will. Or we can rest in the space and feel it all. We'll let the breath get more subtle. Notice the tingling quality of the felt sense. This is the chi, this is the life force energy that is taking form through these elements, moment to moment to moment. The whole body appears and disappears and appears again, moment to moment. We can drop into just the space, just awareness. It would be the top of the head, the crown of the head, be the gate. So that we can be simultaneously inside this body and outside of it. Or maybe, if you like, alternating extremely fast in it and outside it. And the life force energy in the body is also consciousness, which is not bounded. And the body is not separate from the universe. And let the consciousness expand in all directions. And just as this body was born at a certain point in time and will die at a certain point in time, it's arriving and departing moment to moment. All happening in the space of awareness. Okay, so we're going to now fully come back. The self is going to appear that came to this Qigong Zoom session. Slowly sort of move back into, we're not losing anything, we're not letting go of that very expanded awareness. It's still there. And we're coming completely into this place and time, completely functional. And so that just means we're aware of the body, of the senses. That's all it means. And we're aware of the activity in the mind. The senses connect us to everything around us. And that expanded sense still here. Okay, so we haven't gone anywhere. This is just who we are, what we are. This is just what's here. Okay, so take a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, roll on your side and climb back up onto your stool if you can, or if you've gone to sleep, wake up. Okay, and since we started this doing sitting, we can do the whole closing routine sitting also. So if you're ready, let's clap together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, eye sockets. Comb back hair. Tug on ears. Tap the kidneys. And massage the kidneys. Okay, so that just in case you want to, going through the 5 elements in reverse order. So from earth to space. A really good way to go to sleep at night. Or if you wake up in the middle of the night and you want to do a meditation, a lot of times we do the body scan, which is just really just focusing on the earth element. And that's fine. But this is, I think, attempts to be more complete. And then the corresponding gates, as I mentioned, the perineum, earth, and then the kidney area, water, heat in the middle of the body, and then air, of course, heart and lungs. And space is connection to the heavens. So just like the perineum connection to the earth, space connection to what the ancients called the heavens. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.